Hi folks, Sandro here with Cartoon News and Shenanigans, and today we've got some very, very exciting news for you guys here on Variety.com. We are getting a new action show over at Cartoon Network and HBO Max. You can see that here. It's either called Iyanu or Iyanu. I haven't decided yet, but I think Iyanu just rolls off the tongue a little bit easier. So let's call it Iyanu, Child of Wonder, an animated series greenlit at HBO Max and Cartoon Network. So it's just greenlit. We don't have a trailer. We don't have like too much to go off here, but we do have some, synopsis of what it's going to be about. And I am very happy. It is going to be an action show, a nice break from all of these comedy trash shows like Teen Titans Go. I'm very excited. I hope that we get more, just more and more of this, right? We've seen a lot of these types of things on HBO Max recently. A bunch of action shows. They're not as great as some of the ones that we got in the early 2000s, right? Early 2000s, later 1990s, we were getting stuff like Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League, Ben 10, the original Teen Titans, right? We've got things like Transformers, multiple shows from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the list goes on and on. You could even start including things like Danny Phantom, My Life as a Teenage Robot, and later down the line, you could even throw in Avatar: The Last Airbender around the 2010s. Something then happened right around the 2010s when stuff like Steven Universe came out, where it was like, it looks like an action show, but not as great as some of the ones that came before it. Same thing with Adventure Time. It's like, looks like an action show, doesn't really have the animation quality or storytelling. Like, Adventure Time was kind of all over the place, honestly, but like, there was definitely something that went wrong in the 2010s, and it was probably money. It had to do with money. I think a lot of these companies were like, we don't have the talent anymore. Maybe a lot of them moved on or passed away. They just stopped. I don't know, man. Something along the way happened. They just stopped doing it. They saw these cheap, gimmicky things like Teen Titans Go, and they started focusing heavily on comedy shows like Gumball and, that kind of Clarence and, these kinds of shows, right? That was the focus. We shifted away from the original Powerpuff Girls, where it was, about fighting. They were actually fighting. There was blood, and it could get pretty awesome, right? It could get pretty awesome with some of the action we were getting in a show like that. Then you skip ahead multiple years to 2016. We get the reboot. It's more focused on comedy. Very few action scenes. Like they're there every now and again, but nothing compared to what we were getting back in the early 2000s. So there was a shift from action to comedy. I've been waiting for the day for years to get. When is the pendulum gonna swing back? This could be the time. I don't know. I definitely see that HBO Max is trying to lead the way. We also saw something like Amazon Prime, which had Invincible. That was a great show. You remember Omni-Man? He has the blue. Omni-Man was his father. I think his name was like Mark Grayson. He had blue and yellow costume. He could fly. Had a bunch of different friends with weird powers. That show was fantastic. That was a great 2D animated show that I was heavily invested in. We're still getting Young Justice, assuming it isn't canceled. Harley Quinn season 3 right around the corner. So we do see that the superhero genre at least survived. But now we're getting back to some of these wacky, Avatar: The Last Airbender one-off adventures possibly here. That's what I'd like to see, because I do think Avatar: The Last Airbender was very unique and just very out of left field. And this could be the next big one. I'm definitely seeing a lot of people talking about this. Could it be the next big one? I really hope so. I've been waiting a long time for the next big one, Legend of Korra disappointed me. It was a disappointment. It did not live up to the original Avatar's name. It did have the animation quality, though. I will say that. It just did not have the storytelling that kept me interested, nor the characters. But could this show have it? We'll see. We will definitely see. So let's read here a little bit. So it's been greenlit. HBO Max and Cartoon Network announced a 2D animated adaptation of Iyanu, Child of Wonder, A Dark Horse Comics. Okay, so there we go. Dark Horse Comics. You just knew that it was going to come from. Why is this always happen? You know, it's like we have Image Comics with Invincible, which was the show I just talked about. And it's like, why is it that like every time we get an action series, it always relates back to one of the 4 DC, Marvel, Dark Horse, or Image? Why is it? Why can't we just have somebody come the hell out of nowhere and be like, here's the next big animation, thing, or get some people from Japan, give us just an awesome animated show, okay? But that's fine. That's fine. You know, Invincible ended up being such a great show. I'll take a shot on a Dark Horse comic here, okay? Yornique Studios graphic novel series heavily influenced by Yoruba, people of Nigeria, okay? The project will be financed and overseen by Black-owned animation studio Lionforge Animation. Is that right? Lionforge is Black-owned, like completely, or I don't know. Yeah, I've heard of Lionforge for sure. I didn't realize they were like a completely like Black-owned animation. Okay. Oh wait, Black-owned. Wait, that doesn't mean everybody working there. Okay. It only said Black. I thought it was like a Black-only animation studio. My bad. So there you go. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool that they have that there. Lionforge. Iyanu, Child of Wonder, is a superhero tale set in the. Okay, this is the good stuff. This is where it's all at here. Let me reread that. Iyanu, Child of Wonder, is a superhero tale set in the magical kingdom of Yoruba land, which draws from Nigerian culture, music, and mythology. So that's really cool. I did see a show a while back called Victor and Valentino, and that show tried to introduce kids or people in general to some of the Mexican. Is it Mexican or Spanish? Whatever. I thought they were in Mexico. Maybe I'm wrong. But we did get a lot of these Mexican-y types of mythology. Like they had weird things. Like they had this like weird fox creature and all kinds of weird things in there, right? So we got some of that Mexican mythos. And so I honestly know zero about Nigerian culture. I have no idea what religions they even like. I'm assuming like Catholicism, right? Catholic. But I don't know what they worship. I don't know what kind of weird creatures they fantasize or I don't know. I don't know what's going on over in Nigeria. So I'm very curious about the mythology of what's going on there. What kinds of crazy animals could they have? Those will any of the mythology that they have will probably get an episode if it's big enough. So that's great to see because it'll introduce us to these things. The series follows Iyanu, a teenage orphan. Okay, so this is a trope. It's a trope we often see where the parents it'll be like a big reveal later on, right? You look at Pokemon to this day. I mean, you're supposed to do a big reveal of who the parents are, but to this day, we still do not know who the hell Ash Ketchum's father is. But yeah, usually you're supposed to reveal a character's parents, or at least towards the end of a show. You look at One Piece, like one of the most popular manga of all time. We vaguely know about his father, and we know nothing at the time of this video about Luffy's mom. So it's definitely a trope we see in a lot of these action-styled shows, for sure. So that's interesting to hear here. Who spends her days, so this is I'm assuming it's the girl with the bow and arrow. Where were we? Who spends her days studying Yoruba history and ancient arts, but yearns for a normal life. Why? What? She's studying like some of the coolest history, and she's like, no, screw it. I just want to be a normie. This is a weird story. I don't know where this one's heading. Okay. One day, responding to danger, she unknowingly triggers her divine powers. Oh, she just has divine powers. She just has them. Okay. This could be a chosen one type of story where the character was destined to use this powers or to have these powers. Okay. The likes of which have not been seen since the Age of Wonders. Is that a Nigerian thing or a fictional? Like, are they just making this up? I don't know. Let me know. Anybody who knows anything about Nigerian mythology, let me know if an Age of Wonders is a real thing. With newly discovered superpowers, Iyanu joins forces with her she joins forces with two other teenagers as they embark on a remarkable journey to discover the truth about the evil lurking in her homeland. Okay? There better be a good villain. That's all I'll say. You can't have a show without an amazing villain. You gotta have a great villain. Throughout her adventure, she'll uncover the truth about her past. Her parents, okay, there we go. See, I said, as soon as they said she was an orphan, I knew something was up. And her ultimate destiny to save the world. I'm going to guess that her parents are dead. It usually happens like that. Like the parents sacrifice themselves so that the child could, have these powers or have a better life or whatever. I would not be surprised if they reveal the parents are dead. I do not read the graphic novel. What was it called again? It literally is just called Iyanu, Child of Wonder, a Dark Horse comic. So if you've read the comics, then you already know how this ends. I have never read the comics, so I do not know. But let us keep going here. So she's going to find about her parents and her ultimate destiny to save the world. So we are getting a chosen one type of story. Okay. The series is created by Roik Okup, who will serve and write. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's basically. I think that. Okay. Wait. Should we read this one? The Greenlight of Iyanu, Child of Wonder, is notable as it continues signaling the emergence of African as a player in global streaming. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if, in a decade or two or something, we start to see more of instead of just HBO Max and Netflix and all these American-owned streaming services. I've heard a lot about the emerging economic where things are heading in the future. It seems like China's population is going to shrink heavily, and it seems like the African population could grow to be the biggest in the world. So I would not be surprised if Africa just says, instead of stealing all of our talent, we're just going to make our own street, Africa Plus, I don't know what they would call it. I don't know. Zimbabwe Plus. My God. I wouldn't be surprised if all of those African countries just come together and they make their own streaming service just to compete with America. And I could definitely see that happen. But for right now, we're sticking to HBO Max. And much of this growth begins in the kids and family space. Yeah, there you go. So they're trying to target children with this one, which I think that's a good idea. I think these stories were a lot of times we want these more adult animated shows, but they end up, some of them are good. Some of them end up being really gritty, but sometimes you just want to relive your childhood and have one of those Avatar: The Last Airbender where it's he starts off as a kid, he's hanging out with a couple other teenagers, maybe they're around his age, and that we see them grow up through the season. Sometimes that's really exciting to see. And that might just be what happens with this show, Iyanu, Child of Wonder. So there's a lot to talk about here, I think, in the comments for sure. I think we could talk, what are your favorite action shows? Will this be the next big one? I don't know. I'm personally betting on Unicorn Warriors Eternal. This is from Gendy Tartakovsky. This one seems to have quite the following and a lot of people hype for it. This one was only just announced recently, but it looks cool. At least it looks cool, right? I personally, just because Gendy is I know he makes quality, so I'm a little bit more hype for Unicorn Warriors Eternal personally. These are some wacky designs. Right? Does this black kid have psychic powers? That'd be, why is he upside down flying? That could be. We got a robot back here. We got a flying elf, and maybe this woman here has some kind of shadow powers. Very dark palette there. So I'm very interested, right? I'm very interested in this show. This show, the characters look pretty run-of-the-mill, and I really hope we don't see one of these Mary Sue stories where the main girl just ends up being Rey from Star Wars that can do no wrong and is perfect in every way, and she defeats every villain without any struggles. I want to see struggle. I want to see some villains that are really compelling. I want to see this stuff. But I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Do you want to see that too? Let me know. Let me know all your thoughts on Iyaju. Let me know all your thoughts on Iyanu. This kind of looks like a J here. Iyanu, Child of Wonder. Let me know down below. And I'm pretty excited to talk about it. So yeah, please like, please share, please subscribe. And why not watch an ad for your boy Sandro? Thank you guys so much. Peace out. Bye-bye. Have a great day.